Hi, this is Mrs. Gervasio here with Wednesday's homework. Let's jump right to it. Okay, be sure to watch and re-watch the tutorial. Pause for the practice problems and of course come back and check and see how you did. Complete the homework at the end of the tutorial and of course show all of your work.
How do you interpret fractional data on a line plot graph? In this lesson, you will learn how to interpret data presented on a line plot by computing fractions. Let's review. You already know that a line plot is a display for a set of data. Each separate piece of data is shown as a mark above the number line. So in this number line, there is 1x above 1. So that stands for one piece of data that occurred one time in our data collection. You also know that equivalent fractions are fractions that name the same value. And on this number line, you see 1/2 is indicated with 1x. But I know 1/2 is also equal to 2/4. So my 1/2 could be 1/2 or 2/4. Equivalent fractions having the same value are located at the same place on a number line. And finally, you know that when you're adding fractions, if the fractions have the same denominator, you add the numerator to get the total amount. So in this example, 1/5 plus 2/5 is equal to 3/5. A common mistake that is made is not counting each x on the data point on the number line as a separate piece of data. So on this number line, on this line plot, there are two x's above the 1/4. So you have two separate pieces of data for 1/4. All right, let's begin. The local pet store's latest inventory shows they sold 3 1/4 pounds, 2 1/2 pounds, and 1 3/4 pound of dog treats last week. How many total pounds of dog treats did they sell last week? So to begin, we have plotted that information on the line plot. And we notice that there are 3 x's above the 1/4 because there were 3 bags of dog treats sold that weighed 1/4 of a pound. 2 x's above 1/2 because there were 2 bags of dog treats that were sold that weighed 1/2 of a pound. And then there's 1 x above 3/4 to show that there was 1 bag of dog treats weighing 3/4 of a pound. This line plot data shows the pounds of dog treats sold at the pet store. So I noticed that 1/4 and 3/4 both have the same denominator. So I'll start by adding the fourths together first. Since there are 3 pieces of data above the 1/4, I have to add those together, each one of those. So 3/4 plus my other one data piece collection of 3/4 is equal to 6/4. 3/4 plus 3/4 is equal to 6/4. Next, I know that 1/2 is also equivalent to 2/4. Since there are 2 x's above the 1/2, I know that 2 2/4 would make a total of 4/4. So finally, I will add my 3/4 plus 4/4 plus 3/4 together. A total of 10/4 or 2 1/2 pounds of dog treats were sold. In this lesson, you have learned how to interpret data on a line plot by computing fractions.
Okay, and here is the part of the homework that you need to actually bring into class tomorrow. Oh, that's okay. It's not very many problems at all. Okay, so here we have a fraction line plot that you need to complete and answer the questions. Teachers measured the height of their students in morning daycare. Each child was measured to the nearest 1/4 foot. Children were given numbers to make their data easier to plot. The data can be found below. Display the data on the line plot below. Then answer the questions below the line plot. Okay, you need to find an equivalent fraction. So 6/54 equals 36 over what? And 7/9 equals what over 36? Write this fraction in simplest form, 7 over 21. Okay, and compare these two fractions, greater than, less than, or equals to 5/7 and 2/3. And order these three fractions from least to greatest: 4/7, 3/8, and 6/10. And there you have it. There was your homework for tonight. Any problems, make sure to talk to me tomorrow. All right, that's it. I hope you have a wonderful evening.
Bye-bye.